Ecosystem. An ecosystem or ecological system consists of all the organisms and the physical environment with which they interact. এখানের মধ্যে biotic and abiotic component are linked together through nutrient cycle and energy flow. Energy enters the system through photosynthesis and is incorporated into plant tissue. By feeding on plants and on one another, animals play an important role in the movement of matter and energy through the system. They also influence the quality of plant and microbial biomass present there. By breaking down dead organic matter, decomposers release carbon back to the atmosphere or environment and facilitate nutrient cycling by converting nutrients stored in dead biomass back to a form that can be readily used by plants and microbes. Ecosystems are controlled by external and internal factors. Now come to the vital concepts of ecology and ecosystem. First one is biodiversity. Biodiversity, that is biological diversity, describes the diversity of life form gene to ecosystem. Gene level diversity, species level diversity, and ecosystem level diversity. The term has several interpretations, and there are many ways to index, measure, characterize, and represent its complex organizations. Biodiversity includes species diversity, where different types of species are involved, genetic diversity, where diversity in genetic level, and ecosystem diversity, where diversity within the ecosystem. Now, this complex ecological processes operating at and among these irrespectively. Biodiversity plays an important role in ecosystem services, which by definition maintain and improve human quality of life. Then habitat. The habitat of a species describes the environment over which a species is known to occur and the type of community that is formed as a result. More specifically, habitats can be defined as regions in environmental space that are composed of multiple dimensions, it representing a biotic or abiotic environmental variable. That is, any component or characteristic of the environment related directly, for example, biomass and the quality of biomass, and indirectly the elevation to the use of the location by the animal. Niche, all the role that we play within the nature is our ecological niche or niche, যে যেটা বলবে. Our niche is definite role and duty vested upon us. Now, types of ecosystem. Natural ecosystem, these operate under natural conditions without any major interference by man. Within natural ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem, forest, grassland, desert, etc. Within aquatic ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem, low tip, that is running water like spring, stream, river, or lentil, that is standing water. Example, pond, pools, lake. And marine ecosystem, deep bodies as ocean or shallow estuary, that are the example of marine ecosystem. Artificial or man-engineered ecosystem, those are maintained artificially by man, whereby addition of energy and plant manipulation, natural balance is disturbed regularly. Cropland, agricultural land, all are the example of types of artificial ecosystem. Then come to the terrestrial ecosystems features. Here lower availability of water and the consequent importance of water as a limiting factors. Here greater temperature fluctuation on seasonal basis. There is a greater availability of light favored by transparent atmosphere. Availability of gas is more. There are so many types of terrestrial ecosystem: deciduous forest, grassland, tropical rainforest, deserts. First come to the grassland ecosystem. Here vegetation structure that is dominated by grasses, semi-arid climate, rainfall and soils insufficient to support significant tree growth. Most common at mid-latitude and near the interiors of continent. Grasslands are often exploited for agricultural uses. Forest ecosystems are characterized by warm temperature and adequate rainfall, which make the generation of number of ponds, lakes, etc. The forest maintains climate and rainfall. The forest support many wild animals and protects biodiversity, wildlife diversity. The soil is rich in organic matter and nutrients which support the growth of trees. There are many types of forest ecosystem. Tropical evergreen rainforest, only a small percentage of tropical forests are rainforest where average rainfall is 80 to 400 inches in a year. This forest is characterized by deep and dense vegetations consisting of tall trees reaching different levels. Tropical deciduous rainforest. Tropical deciduous rainforests are broad-leaved trees along with dense bushes, shrubs, etc. Two main seasons, summer and winter, are distinctly visible here. This type of forest is found in many parts of the world. A large variety of flora and fauna are found here. A temperate evergreen forest. Temperate evergreen forest is a type of forest that is characterized by a smaller number of trees but an adequate number of ferns and mosses. Pteridophytes, bryophytes are commonly found in temperate evergreen forest. Temperate deciduous forest. Temperate deciduous forest evolves in the moist temperature region with sufficient rainfall. Here also winter and summer are well defined and trees shed their leaves during winter. Dominant trees are maple, oak, beech, etc. Boreal, such type of forest situated just south of the tundra. It is characterized by evergreen conifers. The average temperature is below and freezing point is almost half of the year. Desert ecosystem. Here little rainfall found. Temperatures vary greatly between day and night. High evaporation rates. Drought resistant vegetations having waxy layer over the body, leaves, sometimes leaves converted to thorn to reduce transpiration. They have developed deeper root system for their collection of water. Tundra ecosystem, extremely cold climate Very low biotic diversity. Biodiversity is very low. Simple vegetation structure, limitation of drainage, short season of growth and reproduction. Conifers are the major vegetations here. Now, aquatic ecosystem. The prominent features of aquatic ecosystems are water diversity. They can be made of either fresh water or salt water. They provide habitat for a variety of flora and fauna ranging from shallow water to even the deepest of the ocean. Freshwater ecosystem are the sweetwater ecosystem, and they are the habitat for various plants and animal species. The freshwater ecosystem is less saline, unlike marine ecosystem. The temperature of this ecosystem varies depending on some factors like location, season, and depth from the water surface. Marine ecosystem is an environment where salt water are present. The marine biome is found in all over the Earth's ocean and is the largest biome in the world. The marine biome is home to an amazing array of living organisms, from enormous blue whale to microscopic cyanobacteria, diatoms. All water is saline and rich in different salts and nutrients. Components of ecosystem includes abiotic factors. Abiotic consists of non-living chemical and physical components such as water, air, nutrients in the soil, water, solar energy. Physical chemical factors that influence living organisms. Abiotic factors can act as limiting factors that keep a population at a certain level. And we know about the biotic factors. Biotic factors mean all living organisms, from microorganism to human, and biotic organism includes also fungus, bacteria, algae, braphites, pteridophytes, gymnosperm, angiosperm. All, and animals, humans, all are the biotic factors. And depending on life, plants are classified into short day plant, long day plant, and day neutral. Short day plants are those whose flowering is stimulated by day length shorter than the critical day length. Critical day length is the particular time, and short day length plant are those whose flowering is stimulated by day lengths shorter than that particular day length. Datura is the one of the example of short day plant. Long day plant. Long day plant are those whose flowering is stimulated by day length longer than particular critical day length. Brassica example. And day neutral plant are the intermediate plant are those whose flowering have neither too short or not too long photoperiod. Solanum, Solanaceae family, short plant. Classification of animals depending on the temperature. Homeothermic organism, the organism which can tolerate very high fluctuation of temperature as human. And stenothermal, the organism which can tolerate very small variation in temperatures, are called stenothermal. Reptiles, amphibians are the example. Now, classification of plants depends on the temperature tolerance. Megatherms, the plants growing in region where high temperature prevail throughout the year. Desert vegetation, tropical rainforest, and mesotherm, where plants of the region with high temperature alternating with low temperature. Example, tropical deciduous forest and aquatic farm. Microtherms, where plants of the region with low temperature prevail throughout the year. Mixed coniferous forest. Now come to ecological succession. Ecological succession is one of the very important chapter for this AECC2 course. Ecological succession is the process by which the structure of a biological community evolves over time. Environment is always changing over a period of time due to variation in climatic and physiographical factors and the activities of the species. On the characteristics of such succession, there are two types of succession: primary succession and secondary succession. Primary succession, in any of the basic environment, one type of succession is primary succession, which starts from the primitive substrata where there was no previously any sort of living matter. The first group of organisms establishing there are known as pioneers, primary community or primary colonials. Then secondary successions, where another general types of succession is secondary succession, which starts from previously built up substrata with already existing living matter. The action of any external force as a sudden change in climatic factors, biotic intervention, fire, etc. causes the existing community to disappear. Thus, area becomes devoid of living matter, but its substratum instead of primitive is built up. Such succession are comparatively more rapid. Now, autogenic succession. After the succession has begun, in most of the cases, it is community itself which, as a result of its reaction with the environment, modifies its own environment and thus causing its own replacement by new communities. This course of succession is known as autogenic succession. Then allogenic succession, in some cases the replacement of the existing community is caused largely by any other external condition and not by the existing organism, such as a course in referred in case of allogenic succession. Steps which are involved in succession. First one, nudation. Nudation, this is development of bare area without any form of species. Nudation may occur topographically due to climate, due to biotic component. Then second point is invasion. Invasion is the successful establishment of a species, pioneer organism in a bare area. Invasion including migration, aggregation, all are within invasion. Then competition and co-action. Competition and co-action, due to aggregation of a large number of the species at the limited places, there develops competition for space or shelter and nutrition. Individuals of a species affect each other's life in various ways. This is called co-action. Then reaction. Reaction includes mechanism of the modification of the environment through the influence of living organism on it. Due to this, very significant state changes takes place in soil, water, light conditions, temperature, etc. of the environment. As a result of the reaction, the environment is modified and become unsuitable for the existing community, which sooner or later is replaced by other community, that is chiral community. Then stabilization. The final stage of succession is called climax community. The final community is not replaced and is known as the climax community, and the stage is known as